Hey everybody, welcome to CEO Chat. My name is Alcini.
I'm Joe Osamendi.
And we have a terrific guest. His name is Chris Carr. He's the CEO of Farotech.
Welcome, Chris.
Absolutely, a pleasure having you on.
Great.
Yep.
And I'm going to start by explaining what I think is the difference that Farotech makes. And then you'll correct me on that. I know you brought a video.
Yeah, I did.
And we'll watch that video too. But as I understand it, Farotech combines what a marketing person would do with what a social media marketing person might do, with what a videographer might do. And you pull all that together and make that all work somehow. Maybe, I know I only scratched the surface, so tell me what I got wrong.
Yep. Well, essentially what we do is we bring a comprehensive approach to medium and large size businesses. So let's say hypothetically you have a marketing guy, right? Well, that marketing guy or gal basically wakes up one day and they have a pile on their desk that's this high, right? And you know, if you could ask them, well, are you on the first page of Google? It's like, yeah, a little bit, but it's on my list. How's your social presence? Yeah, a little bit of it's on my list. And they're constantly basically going to bed at night knowing that they're only scratching the surface of what's possible, either through budget or mostly just because they don't have enough time to do their job. So essentially what we do is that we come in with what's called a team-based approach. That marketing person is still the quarterback, but we've developed a system that's a proven system that we're doing for some really large players in this region and throughout the United States that basically generates leads, nurtures leads, and converts leads. So now that marketing person is not saying, I can't get enough done. They're now the quarterback, and our team are the team. It basically is under their control, and we're the people that get it done.
Okay.
So you're keeping the plays moving, you're gaining the yardage, you're throwing the passes, you're receiving the passes.
We're doing everything.
You're doing all that, which is great.
Yep,
I mean,
because that marketing guy was literally like sitting down and from 8 to 10, oh, I got to write a blog.
Okay, is this a good setup for your video? Because we could start with that.
I think it would be a good primer so I can show you a little bit about what we do.
Okay.
There's not any sound in it, so what I thought I'd do is we could play it and then I would just describe what you're seeing.
That'd be great. So Kira, maybe you could tee that up for us?
There you go. Okay.
So we tried to create a really collaborative space. So when you walk into it, you know, it's kind of should have that like Manhattan feel. We built
it does. I've been there. Beautiful office.
We built it for our clients so that they would feel like it's theirs. So we have those like really cool experiences we can write on the walls and you can do a bunch of different things. We also have a team that's a very transparent and hands-on team that should feel like an extension of your team. So either we're at your office or you're at our office. And so what we do is we bring our clients in, and on every quarter, we basically write on the walls, we draw your plan, we basically develop a system that basically helps you generate leads, nurture leads, and things like that. Then through production, through video production, writing, blogging, social media, and most importantly, SEO, we generate leads, and then we nurture those leads. And then eventually what happens is that we are going to help you convert leads into individuals who are going to give you referrals.
Okay, great.
Because we don't live in a world anymore, no matter how hard I try, that word of mouth is still the primary driver on mostly on how business is made.
Right.
So our job is to basically develop such a great story for your brand that if you have a great service, we're going to amplify that so that the people that basically buy your products and service have such a great experience that they're going to want to tell others about your products.
That is such a powerful message because I'm thinking of our viewers, people who own companies, people who run departments.
Sure.
They probably have people in place to do a lot of the individual parts that you're talking about. But their frustration is that they're not getting any traction from it.
Correct.
And I mean, it really does have to be just one story that resonates throughout the entire organization. It can't be a lot of different efforts.
So let's kind of talk about a problem we have. So one of the clients we have is Penn Medicine, right? And one of the things that could happen to Penn is that they have a new procedure that they do, right? Now they have a marketing guy, and then they also have a team that is set up so that maybe they use an outside vendor for social media, and then they do another one that's a blog writer, stuff like that. And so now I have this new product, new procedure. I've got to call 5 different companies, 5 different people. Basically, I have to tell the same story over and over again. And if any of those 2 companies have to talk to each other, I got to arrange another conversation to do that.
And that's going to cost you money.
It's going to cost you time. And there's basically going to be these gaps or these holes in your marketing.
Right. When you're wondering, hey, wait a minute, what we're saying in print is not what we're saying on television.
Correct.
And that's a big deal.
And so what we did is I've built this company over 20 years. And so one of the holes that we found is that I got my design team here, my development team here, my writers here, stuff like that. And there was constantly, we trip over the handoff. And so what I said was, you know what? I don't want to be like everybody else. I want to put it all under
You
one
wanna put it all
roof.
together. Right.
So that literally the 5 individuals or vendors that basically need to know about this message, we're all at one place at one time, and we're all brainstorming together to make sure that you have continuity in your message. So you as the business owner, you only talk about what you need to do once, and we take it from there.
And you take it from there and you
That's
run with it. This is inbound marketing we're talking about here.
That's right.
Not
Yep.
cold calling. That kind of thing.
No.
I mean, that's still something that a company might want to do. But
Correct.
this is about creating and generating and triggering demand in the marketplace and responding to that.
So imagine we have the traditional marketing that we've always known, right? Because we're in a digital space, basically the landscape has changed. So if we had traditional marketing and I have a magazine, or I have a billboard, or I have something like that, right? The hardest thing I can do there is I don't know whether I'm getting a return on investment.
Right.
Other than maybe I place the ad and a couple months later I have more money, but I don't know what worked, right? And so I kind of call that interruption marketing. Like I don't open a magazine up hoping to find out about RVN or CEO chat.
Right.
But if I stumble upon it, then maybe you hit me at the right time.
Got it. Okay.
What if I could develop a system that says there's people that really want products and services, your products and services,
Right.
and you've got a really great product. The problem is the space between.
The space in
Exactly,
between.
sure.
So what I need to do is I need to create a really great story, and I need to fill the gap so that I can get really great people to know your products and services.
Yeah. That's now, and you do it with metrics. You can
Correct.
prove that you're getting the response.
That's right.
Talk about that, because you create a dashboard for all that.
Yep. So we have a dashboard that's going to be able to tell you how many leads you've basically on a monthly basis and a quarterly basis. We've developed goals together. We've agreed upon goals together.
Okay.
My job is to basically give you real-time metrics to say how many leads are coming to your website compared to your goals.
Okay.
How many leads a week? How many visitors have come to your website compared to your goals?
Right.
How many leads have we basically generated compared to your goals? And because it's ROI based, how many have you closed? Because I'm accountable for what you've closed.
Right. Okay.
Most marketing companies basically stop there. They say, well, we got a good message and we pushed it out to you. If we're partners and your boss is coming to you and saying, you know what, you're accountable for how many sales we have,
Right.
why does the marketing team get off the hook for that?
Well, I know what you mean. I threw you the ball. How come
Yeah.
you carried across the ball? I
Exactly.
did what I was supposed to do.
Yeah,
So I mean, I think an awful lot of success falls through exactly that crack that you just identified,
correct,
and an awful lot of money pours into that crack and is never seen again, too.
correct.
So you've been doing this for 20 years.
20 years. Shy about 1 year. So I started this in 2001. Mostly started out as a web development company.
Okay.
But how this was sort of born was I built really great websites. At least I felt like I
That's what
did.
you're doing beforehand?
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Okay.
And then people said, you built me a great website, but nobody can find it on Google. So then I had to learn Google. So I thought, I got it all figured out, right? Then what was happening is people were like, Chris, you built me a great website, and I'm on the first page of Google, but for some reason, my phone isn't ringing. So now I got to basically take it one step further and figure out, well, how do we convert?
Right.
And so now I need to figure out who you are as a business, help you develop a really great story, create demand through SEO, social media, paid advertising, you name it. And then I basically got to figure out how to convert. And this is where it gets really interesting. We have technology that, interesting and scary, okay?
Take notes, Joe.
I'm old enough, I'm going on 42, I'm old enough to even know that my own product is scary. But here's what I mean by that. I'm going to basically drive you to my client's websites by the thousands.
Okay.
I'm going to have you basically engage with a piece of information on the website. But when you've done that, I've actually put a cookie on your computer. You've opted into this.
Right. Okay.
But then now you're in our system, and I'm tracking every single thing that you do. Every time you go to my social media, you're going to get a couple points. Every time you read a blog, you're going to get a couple points. Every time I email to you, you're going to get a couple points.
Okay.
And then I go to my client salespeople and say, you know what? Al's got a score of a 34. He probably needs to be drip marketed to a little bit
I
more.
see what you mean.
Okay.
Okay.
But
All right.
Joe is in a scenario where he's in the 60s. So basically, we want to give Joe a call. He knows your brand. He knows your message. He knows
Right. He needs to be phoned.
That's
See,
right.
nobody does this.
Nobody
I mean,
does.
and that's what makes this really
Yeah.
useful. I mean, I can hire people. We have marketing people on the program a lot. They're all wonderful people and they're all very competent. But that whole idea that you approach some prospects one way and other prospects a different way, and we know the difference, means I don't just rely on an email campaign or a telephone campaign. I change it up based on who I know I'm trying to reach and why I'm trying to get to them. What I liked about my visit, about a month ago, I was at Farotech. You have a really great, engaging way of capturing in video a customer experience. So that people feel by watching the video you produce the way they'd feel if they were actually a client of your client. Talk about that, because I think that's very compelling.
So there's a couple different factors that you need to know about video and how video is changing the landscaping of how we engage and convert. So from my vantage point, right, the biggest thing that we're trying to do is the joke that we have is that the average goldfish has an attention span of 8 seconds. The average human has an attention span of 7 seconds. Right? So basically we're losing to goldfish. So what we need to do is that if you come to my website, I've got 8 seconds to make it happen. And so they can go to my website, which we show metrics that say they barely read your website. Right?
Face it.
I need to basically create an emotional experience. And so the thing I need to do is, in my opinion, is I need to spoon feed you really great information. And the number one way to do that is through video. But where we take it as a science, is art and science, is we're going to create a really great video that's aesthetically pleasing, that says your message, that spoon feeds your message. But we're an analytics company on the back end. And so say we have 2 different experiences. And you go and you watch the video and you watch all of the video, right? I'm going to basically market and say at the end, I'm going to say, we should join my webinar. That's at minute 2. And then I watch, and Al basically engages with my website and my video, but he drops off at the 1 minute mark. Al would never know that there's a webinar at the end that it's going to tell you more. So our system has a cookie on his computer, has his name and his email address, and then it's going to drip market to Al to say, hey, these are the parts of the video you may have missed. And by the way, we've got a webinar at the end. And I'm going to know whether Al's opened up any of those emails, rewatched the video, or anything like that. So I know everything about it. Other things that you can do in video, which is really cool, is that from a budget standpoint, I can make 70% of the video to your entire audience. But if I've got a product specific for dentists, they can click on a button and see the rest of the video that's specialized for dentists. But if you're an oncologist, you'll click a button and you'll...
And go to... Yeah, we need to take a break. This is an interesting subject. And I want to talk about experiences I've had with talking to people who have built websites and how much better your approach is. So we'll talk about that after the break. Back after a minute or so with more CEO Chat.
Stick around.
Terrific.
4800. As a licensed insurance agent, I'll assist you in making an informed and confident decision on a Medicare plan that meets your needs, lifestyle, and budget. Call me today for a free, no obligation Medicare benefits consultation. 856-226-4800.
Boardwalks built for fun. Legendary rock and roll clubs.
This is how we do it. Hippity hop.
Casinos by the ocean.
Hippity hop.
Now that's New Jersey. 130 miles of beautiful beaches. Solid rock. And everything in between.
Look in the window.
Now that's New Jersey.
Burlington County College.
Is now Rowan College of Burlington County.
Still the same great faculty.
At a community college ranked top 50 in the nation.
Basically, we earn more and pay less.
RCBC students are accepted at Rowan University after graduation.
And get a bachelor's degree for around $30,000.
Online and Mount Laurel students get a 15% Rowan University tuition discount.
And have many scholarship opportunities.
So you earn more and pay even less.
Rowan College of Burlington County.
Your path to success.
They are the greatest fighting force the world has ever seen. But what does it take to strengthen our service members? What does it take to let them know that we stand behind them, wherever they are? What does it take to bridge the distance and keep them connected to family, home, and country? And what does it take to prepare them for their future when their service to the nation is complete. What does it take to strengthen our service members so they can be the greatest force for good in the world? It takes a force. Be a force behind the forces. Share a message today at force.uso.org.
I want to be a contender. I want a warm belly to sleep on.
A big house. How do I look? Do I look good?
I want to play hard.
My nails done once a month.
I want
a home.
I just want a home. I want someone to love.
Last year, more than 30,000 companion animals came to us without homes. 20,000 of them were felines. Let's make some homes.
Here we are.
Welcome back, everybody, to CEO Chat. My name is Alcini,
I'm Joe Osmendi.
and we were just goofing around with each
Right,
other about
yeah.
how hard it is to follow talking animals on commercials. But we'll give it a try. I think we have somebody even more interesting than a furry talking animal.
Great.
His name is Chris Carr. He's the CEO of Farotech.
That's right.
And during the break and before the program too, you talk about digital marketing. Everybody immediately thinks website.
Yep.
I can tell you my experience with people I know who built their websites based on what they heard from their wife, from their husband, from their father, from their mother.
Yep.
You need a picture of a monkey. You need to do this. You need to do that. You know, and most people think that the goal of an effective website is just to look pretty.
Right.
Yeah.
That is not. There's no science in that.
No.
You
no.
add science to that process.
That's
Talk
right.
about that.
That's right. Now, I can't guarantee that my approach doesn't say you got to use screaming monkeys. I can't guarantee that.
Monkey might be a
It
good
might
idea.
be a good idea.
But it might be a terrible idea.
That's right. So things that we've experienced. All right. So I've been doing this 20 years. I have seen markets change. I have seen websites change. I've seen mobile. Basically, when I started this thing, a mobile phone was a flip phone.
Right, sure.
Everything's changed, right? And you know what? The only thing that we know is that it'll keep changing.
Right. Wow.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So one of the things that we need to do is, as business owners, as marketers, as people that tell stories, is we have to know, you know what, if things are going to change, does my approach basically have to be so nimble that it basically is like, this is my hunch at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3 to 5 years later, I'm going to build another website because everyone else's website's cooler than mine, so I'm going to make another website.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 to 5 years after that, I'm going to do another one, right? And so on and so forth, right?
Right.
So one of the challenges that we have is you wouldn't be making those hunches if I gave you really good analytics and data.
Mm.
All right? And so let's say hypothetically we could take that same scenario and I could build you a really, really strong website.
Mm-hmm.
But rather than waiting 3 to 5 years, I'm going to constantly tweak that website on a weekly, monthly, basically quarterly basis. And you're going to basically know what's working and what's not. And I'm going to tweak the language and I'm going to tweak where certain things are located on the website. I can do a number of different things, right? So I can move things around and I'm going to make the spear sharper and sharper. So I don't want to mention the client's name, but let me just tell you this one thing. So let's say hypothetically, I was working with an orthopedics practice that made, that is one of the biggest in the whole Northeast. And when you looked at their website, they had orthopedic specialties that was dead center, right in the middle. But then a small button on the top left-hand side that talked about services.
Okay.
We had all of their traffic going to the services button rather than the orthopedic specialties button.
Seriously.
And the services button was like, get an x-ray, get an MRI.
Right.
And so
Yeah,
all
but
their calls or actions are over here,
What you're
right?
trying to sell is actually kind of hidden on that page.
Correct. But they didn't know it was hidden because I couldn't make the orthopedic specialties button any bigger.
All right. Uh-huh.
They also spent $250,000 on videos that are right there in the middle of the page. And nobody was clicking on that too. So what we do is we do this heat mapping technology that measures people's eye movements, their mouse movements, where are they hovering, how far are they scrolling down on the page.
Right.
And so what we do is that as we change the message, we also measure everything. So therefore, if I have to change the button from orthopedic specialties to something that's going to gravitate, basically grab people's attention more, my science is going to tell you how you build websites.
And how they evolve over
Correct.
time.
That's right.
Because the website you built doesn't stay the same forever. You adapt it based on what you know people are looking at.
We're guessing.
Yeah.
In the beginning, we're guessing. Now there's best practices. I've been building them for 20 years, so I can tell you what works and doesn't work, but I don't know what works for you because you have the company that specializes in screaming monkeys.
Right. And so they're gonna move me in that direction.
I'm gonna start out with the foundation of what we think we know,
right?
But then I'm gonna measure, and then I'm gonna adjust. I'm gonna measure, and I'm gonna adjust. I'm gonna measure, and I'm gonna adjust.
That's really powerful.
And through the power of A/B testing and what we call multivariant testing, it might turn out that, you know what, the story isn't about the screaming monkeys. It's about the people that really love to go to the zoo.
It's and that's the market you really want to approach.
Correct.
So that's
but the hunch
what your
started.
sister tells you, what your mother tells you. They're interesting, but
Yep.
what you really need to know is what your customers are looking for, and that's what you
So
do.
you want their website's under continual improvement all the time.
Yeah,
All the time.
that's
It's always
great.
Now,
evolving.
what's interesting here, so we tell this analogy of there's a guy and he's on a desert island. It's this comic we show, and it's the guy's on a desert island, and he sees a boat coming to him, and he's like, I'm rescued, it's a boat, it's a boat. But then you see it from another angle, and it shows the boat, and he's finally seeing land because he's been deserted for forever, and he's like, land, land.
Okay.
The same situation
Yeah.
by two different views,
Yeah,
right?
Right.
So we take our hunches of who we think we are, but my data is going to tell you what they think you are.
and that's
And so you can either try to steer them and change your message to make sure that they know who you are a little bit different, or you can comply to what they think you are. And if your message basically fits what they hope and dream,
wow.
you're going to score and win.
Okay, now getting to the website in the first place is
Yep.
this bizarre area called search engine optimization,
Sure.
which you also do.
That's right.
But you don't do it the way my brother-in-law does it, or you do it scientifically.
Yes. I mean, well, SEO is sort of our bread and butter. And what happened was when I built a website, right? If I built you a really good website, my old approach, I wasn't going to hear from you for 3 to 5 years until until your sister-in-law said, we got to make another Screaming Monkey website, right? Sorry for this analogy. I'm beating it to death. But the way SEO sort of worked, it allowed me as a business to say, you know what, I can develop a foundation for you, and then I can basically bring people to you by the hundreds or thousands or whatever we did, right? And so I started to realize as a business, I wanted to scale in a way that was going to develop reoccurring revenue.
Right.
And that happened by becoming partners with companies, not vendors for companies.
That's
there's
a
a-
differentiator there.
Correct. And so I'm accountable for every visitor and lead that I bring to your market, to your website. So let's talk about that. Now, a lot of SEO companies are going to say, you know what? You need to be on the first page of Google for these 10 words, and these 10 words bring hundreds of thousands of visitors to your website. You're a business owner. You're like, hundreds of thousands. That's great.
Right.
That's perfect. That's what I want. And it's like, well, what are the words that you want? It's like, well, you know what? In theory, they're the words everybody wants. It's like, oh, so you're so good that you're going to beat out all of the competition. And it's like, well, yeah, that's my job. Well, if he doesn't, and you've paid him month after month after month for thousands of dollars, and he fails, he moves on to another client, right?
Right. Okay.
What we have to do is we have to say, you know what? These are the expectations you should have.
Right.
Those keywords are fantastic. The problem is everybody wants them. So what we need to do is we need to understand how Google works. And when we do that, what I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to look for keywords, basically the words people type into Google, that have a lot of visibility, but with low competition. And then if you view a skyscraper, basically a skyline, if I can get you all the land other than the skyscrapers, right? The skyscrapers are those really big keywords that everybody wanted. If I can get you on the first page of Google for all that other land, and I've earned the right to be heard in Google, when I want to try to go after the bigger skyscrapers, do you think Google will let me have them?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing here is I'm changing something called your domain authority or your trust rank. How much does Google trust you? Because just because you want to be in the skyscraper does not mean Google says you have the right to be there.
And so in a way, what you're really doing is selling yourself to Google so that Google can sell you to
Unfortunately,
their search engine audience.
it's their world and we're just living in it.
Right.
Exactly. Right? You know, I mean, they have all the traffic, they have all the people.
Sure.
You know?
Well, well, you know, I think that level of science just around how you do all that is bringing it back to the people who watch our program.
Sure.
You're talking about companies that are, let's say, between $5 million a year in size and maybe 200, 300 million a year.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so that's the spot that you kind of operate in.
That's right.
You have a flexible pricing cost model. Maybe you can talk a little bit about the economics.
So the hardest thing that I talked about developing a partnership. Like whether it's a partnership with my wife or it's a partnership with my clients, whatever it is, we're not going to have a really great date if I don't know who you are.
Right.
True.
And so the first 6 to 8 weeks, it's the most time intensive. We take a really, really big deep dive into who your company is. And we develop a 12-month to a 36-month roadmap that basically has identified every gap that you have, all the keywords that you need to go after, everything you need to change in your message, and basically everything that you need to do in 3 years to 10x your business. All right? Then we use that playbook month after month, quarter after quarter, to basically help you reach your goals. And I measure what's working and what's not.
Right. Wow.
All right?
Mhm.
So how are we different? In the beginning, we need to know you guys inside and out to become partners with you.
Okay.
So, we work with some large healthcare providers in the city of Philadelphia.
Mhm.
We got to a point where when they have to change their messaging, we'll get a call and it's like, hey, what do we say about this?
No kidding, seriously.
Because we're so streamlined with them
Uh-huh.
that we know more about what they communicate than they do.
Yeah. You're not a doctor, and you're not providing medical advice. You're just saying, listen, I understand what's going through the heads of the people that are your target market.
Or I wrote all your stuff for you.
Well,
You know what I
so
mean?
that kind of amazing Kreskin, you could read the minds of the people that are buying from me, so that I get the message out there that triggers their buying response.
Correct.
And that's so much more important than SEO. Any one of these individual points.
Yep.
So $500 to $500 million, $200, $300 million. I might already have a marketing person, but you'll work with that person.
Yeah. So option one is we work with your marketing person, make them the quarterback, or you don't hire that individual right out of the gate. We become your marketing team, and eventually, when you do hire someone, you're going to be able to hire someone that's a whole lot more cost effective, because a lot of the times they're just the liaison of content as opposed to this highfalutin strategist.
Okay, so your engagement is going to last 36 months. Is that what you said?
It can, up to 36 months.
Okay.
So the first year, we basically develop the relationship. You have the opportunity to get out if you would like to.
Right.
We have a 96% client retention rate, so we're very high. Like people don't leave us.
That's great.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's good because it means your customers also stay in business, which is another one of the things. There are a lot of ways you can lose a client.
Yep.
One of them is they go broke.
That's right.
And your job is to make sure that doesn't happen.
If I lose a client, it's because they hired another person in the company that came in and he wanted to use his team.
Okay.
That's it. That's just all there is to
We
it.
don't lose because we fail.
No,
we
never.
We just
In
don't.
fact, it's just,
yeah.
well.
So let me answer your question a little more thoroughly. So I developed that gap assessment. We developed the 36-month roadmap. Now the speed that you want to get to 10x is going to be dependent on your budget.
I got it. Okay.
All right.
So we can work something out with you that doesn't hurt me too much in terms of cash flow.
That's
but gets
right.
me the kind of positive.
It's all
top-line
about the
result.
aggression level.
That's
So the things that I would do for a really large, like we work with the largest orthopedics practice in North Carolina. The things we're going to do for them at $20,000 a month might be different. Is the same exact thing that I'm going to do for you at $5,000 a month. The only difference is the aggression level.
Yeah,
They want to start winning in the hundreds of millions by year 3.
Right.
Well, actually, they want to do it in month 6, which is they will see very good results by then. But by year 3, that's when they feel like they want to have maximized this entire relationship. I take that same science and I bring it down to an individual that might have has a little bit smaller of a budget. Like I work with a company in New Jersey called Darlington Designs. They build rock star swimming pools, like literally for like pro athletes or whatever it is, right? I mean, you're talking about an experience. You walk, if you're at their house and you walk in their backyard, you look like you're stepping into a magazine.
Right.
Now they have a specific budget that's very different from the large scale orthopedics.
Sure.
Right.
Right.
But do I need to know their audience? Yes, I do.
You still
Do
do.
I need
It's
to
the
write
same
great
thing.
content? Yes, I do. Do I need to have a social presence, thought leadership? Everything's the same.
That's.
It's just the speed.
Well, we're going to have to wrap this up.
Okay, great.
But you are the guy to call. I mean, really, this is. I think what you offer is so unique and so powerful and so scientific.
Awesome.
That if all you think there is to digital marketing is having a cool website, you really haven't thought it through enough.
Yeah.
You really need to give Chris Carr a call. Tell everybody how to reach you.
This one right here.
Yep.
Okay, great. You can obviously go to our website, which is farotech.com, farotech.com. There's a contact us form, or you can also email us at sales@farotech.com. I think one of the things that I want to say is that if you come to our website and you like what you see, our system is set up so that you have a 1 hour to 2 hour free consultation where we're going to basically give you enough information to basically transform your marketing over the next 90 days. If you choose to have us help you do it, great. If you don't, you're going to leave with a tremendous experience. So
that's great.
Yeah.
No reason not to call. Plenty of reasons definitely to call. You want to do that. Also, one more point. You're based in the Philadelphia area, but you have customers all over the country.
That's right. So we're based out of Conshohocken, and there's a train station that goes right to us. But we have I think I have almost 150 clients throughout the United States, a couple in Europe. And so a lot of times it's great if you're local, but we work with.
You guys are global.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
impressed.
Awesome.
Terrific.
Yep.
Chris Carr, thanks for
again.
joining us
Chris,
on
thank
CEO
you.
Chat.
Thanks again.
Yeah.
Great program.
Sounds great.
Great
Yeah.
guest.
Learned
Thank
a
you.
lot, and I think what you have is a fantastic
It
idea.
really is
Awesome.
amazing.
And it really is different from other people I've heard about
Yeah,
too.
very,
It's really good.
really articulate
Absolutely.
and put too. You did
Exactly.
a great job.
Awesome.
Thanks all of you for joining us on CEO Chat. This is Joe Esamendi.
That's Alcina.
And we'll be back next week. Have a great weekend.
Yep.
Be
Thanks
safe,
again.
sound, and
Thanks
come with
again,
next
Chris.
weekend.
No, it's terrific.
There you
Really
go.
great.
Thanks, Chris.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Great.